Silence arrives first. Not the gentle quiet of a distant countryside, but a silence so complete it feels physical, pressing against the ears, swallowing every expectation of sound. This is Greenland without witnesses. A land that does not perform. A land that does not explain itself. Ice stretches to the horizon, not as a surface, but as a presence. It rises and falls like a frozen ocean, creased by centuries of pressure, fractured by time itself. Beneath this frozen expanse lies ancient rock, older than forests, older than complex life, older than memory. Greenland is not merely cold, it is primordial. The air is sharp and crystalline, stripped of moisture, stripped of softness. Every breath feels deliberate, earned. Wind moves across the ice sheet in long, invisible currents, sculpting snow into waves, ridges, and scars. Nothing here is random. Every shape is the result of relentless forces acting over unimaginable spans of time. This ice is not static. It flows. Slowly, silently, the Greenland ice sheet moves outward from its center, creeping toward the sea at the pace of centimeters per day. It is the second largest body of ice on Earth, thick enough in places to bury mountains. Beneath it, the bedrock is pressed downward by its immense weight, the land itself bending under frozen gravity. From above, the ice appears pure, white, untouched. But closer, it reveals a hidden complexity. Rivers carve through its surface in summer, forming brilliant blue veins that snake across the frozen desert. Meltwater pools into vast lakes, so clear they reflect the sky like glass. Then, without warning, the water vanishes, draining through vertical shafts called moulins, plunging hundreds of meters into darkness, feeding unseen rivers beneath the ice. The ice remembers everything. Each layer records a year, each year trapping air from ancient atmospheres. Bubbles sealed inside preserve climates long gone, eras when temperatures rose, when ice retreated, when the world transformed. Greenland is a frozen archive of Earth's past, holding secrets no human witnessed. And beyond the ice sheet, the land breaks open. Jagged mountains erupt from the frozen plateau, their black rock exposed like bone through torn skin. These peaks are not softened by trees or soil. They rise raw and sharp, carved by glaciers into impossible shapes, knife-edged ridges, sheer walls, valleys drowned in shadow. Here, geology is not background scenery, it is the main character. Glaciers spill through these mountains like slow-motion avalanches. They grind rock into powder, carving fjords so deep their floors lie below sea level. When these glaciers reach the ocean, they fracture with thunderous cracks, releasing icebergs the size of cities. The sound echoes for kilometers, a reminder that even in silence, Greenland is alive. Icebergs drift away, luminous and blue, sculpted into arches, towers, and cathedrals. Some are centuries old, others were born moments ago. All of them are temporary. The ocean claims them eventually, dissolving frozen mountains back into water. The sea here is not gentle. Cold currents swirl with immense power, carrying ice and nutrients through the North Atlantic. The water is heavy, dark, and unforgiving. It absorbs sound, it steals heat, it demands respect. And yet, life persists. In the margins between ice and ocean, seals surface through narrow breathing holes, their whiskered faces scanning a hostile world. Narwhals glide beneath the surface, their long tusks slicing through water like myth-made flesh. These animals navigate a realm of shifting ice, memorizing cracks, leads, and currents that change with every season. Above, polar bears move like ghosts across the frozen sea. Their white fur blends seamlessly into snow and ice, their massive bodies carried by surprisingly silent steps. They are apex predators in a land where hunger is constant. Each hunt is a calculation. Each failure carries consequences. Greenland's wildlife is shaped by scarcity. There is no abundance here, no excess, Every calorie matters. Arctic foxes trail behind bears, scavenging scraps left behind. Musk oxen huddle together against winds that can peel skin from bone, their long hair sweeping the snow like ancient cloaks. They are survivors from the Ice Age, living relics adapted to a world that has barely changed since mammoths walked the earth. Seasons pass not gently, but violently. Winter arrives like a closing door. Darkness stretches for months, swallowing the sun entirely. Temperatures plunge far below freezing. The landscape hardens, motion slows, life retreats inward, conserving energy, waiting. Then abruptly, the light returns. Summer explodes into existence. The sun circles endlessly above the horizon, refusing to set. Ice melts. Rivers roar to life. Moss and lichens awaken across bare rock, painting the land in unexpected greens and golds. For a brief window, Greenland breathes. Flowers bloom in fragile bursts, hugging the ground to escape the wind. Insects emerge in staggering numbers, filling the air with sound after months of silence. Migratory birds arrive from across the planet, drawn by the sudden abundance. They nest, feed, and raise their young in a race against time. But summer is not kindness, it is urgency. Glaciers melt faster, ice fractures more frequently, meltwater floods valleys and surges toward the sea. The land shifts beneath the changing weight of ice. Greenland responds to warmth not slowly but dramatically. This is one of Earth's great paradoxes. A place defined by ice is also one of the most sensitive indicators of warming. As temperatures rise, the ice sheet loses billions of tons of mass each year. Meltwater lubricates the base of glaciers, accelerating their flow. Ice retreats inland, exposing rock that has not seen daylight in tens of thousands of years. And yet, Greenland has known warmth before. Long before humans, this land experienced cycles of ice and retreat. Forests once grew where glaciers now stand. Animals migrated across landscapes now buried under kilometers of ice. Greenland is not fragile, it is resilient, but its changes echo outward, reshaping oceans, coastlines, and climates far beyond its shores. Here, nothing exists in isolation. Fresh water pouring into the ocean alters currents that regulate global temperatures. Ice loss raises sea levels thousands of kilometers away. What happens in this remote wilderness affects cities and civilizations that may never see ice. And still, Greenland remains indifferent. Storms roll in from the Arctic Ocean without warning, clouds pile high against mountain walls, snow falls sideways in blinding sheets, wind screams across open plateaus, erasing tracks within minutes. Navigation becomes impossible, direction loses meaning. In these moments, the scale of the land overwhelms the human mind. Distances deceive. A mountain that appears close may be days away. A valley that seems shallow may drop hundreds of meters. Without reference points, perception collapses. Greenland does not accommodate human intuition. It demands adaptation or surrender. Even time behaves differently here. Days blur into continuous light or endless night. The usual markers of morning and evening dissolve. The body drifts out of sync, responding more to temperature and wind than to clocks. The land operates on its own rhythm, older and slower than human life. There are places where no footprints exist, no trails, no signs of passage, just untouched snow, unbroken rock, unmeasured silence. These are landscapes that have never been named, never photographed, never described. They exist beyond stories, and yet they are not empty. Beneath the ice, microbial life survives in total darkness, feeding on minerals and chemical reactions rather than sunlight. In subglacial lakes, sealed for millennia, ecosystems persist in isolation, defying assumptions about where life can exist. Greenland hints at possibilities beyond Earth, offering clues to life beneath the ice of distant moons. The land is ancient, but it is not dead. Cracks form with sharp, explosive sounds, like rifle shots echoing across glaciers. Ice shifts, settles, moves, Mountains shed rock as freeze and thaw pry them apart grain by grain. Fjords deepen as glaciers retreat, reshaping coastlines in real time. Greenland is not a frozen museum, it is an active process. Even the sky participates. Auroras ripple across winter darkness, curtains of green and violet light dancing silently above the ice. Charged particles from the sun collide with Earth's atmosphere, painting the sky with cosmic energy. For a moment, the land feels connected to something vast and celestial. Here, Earth feels unfinished, a planet still forming itself, still testing extremes, still balancing ice and fire, darkness and light, abundance and absence. To witness Greenland without filters, without settlements, without comforts, is to confront scale itself. To feel small, not in a humiliating way, but in a clarifying one. The land does not care who you are, where you came from, or what you believe. It simply exists, immense and uncompromising. And that is its power. In a world shaped by borders, Greenland resists definition. It is not a destination, it is a force. A reminder that the planet is older, stronger, and far more complex than human timelines suggest. As the wind scours the ice and the glaciers continue their slow march to the sea, Greenland remains, watching, waiting, changing. A land beyond maps, a place that does not need to be seen to be real. A wilderness that reminds us how vast the world still is.